Hey, welcome guys. My name's Cody and this is Bryson.
Hey, how's it going?
And so Runefest has been going on and we've been playing RuneScape for a little while now. So we thought, why not just get our thoughts out while we were just grinding out some RuneScape like always. So enjoy. So yeah, not that we have used it all that much yet, but they're reworking a bunch of the areas in the Hosidius house to like make it feel like more people are there. I think we were talking about this before, like where there's actually people there, but it's too big and it feels like people aren't there, and that's why people say dead content.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember we were talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, generally I felt like in a lot of traditional MMOs, whenever new areas come out for like an expansion, they're all really nice looking, but then no one's there, so it's kind of like, what's the point of them besides running through them for one time?
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those, like, RuneScape isn't a traditional MMO, so usually dead content just means that there's no useful things there, which is like skilling sites. There's no good XP per hour there, or there's no easy bank access from like a teleport location. And if that's what they were trying to fix with the changes, then that's good. I know they like moved around a lot of the
like I liked how
locations.
it looked. Like I think it looks good, but in this little town like that they're adding, it's like Hosidius town. It's like right outside of it now, and it has like a cooking area, like a general bank, like a bank. Like I guess like I don't know when I would need to go there really, but maybe I'm just not.
I've only been to the Hosidius house once to run past it. That's how little use I've gotten out of it. But it looks like, is it a farming? It's mainly a farming area, right?
Yeah, there's farmer stuff here, like a farmer's market, and they like moved Tithe Farm, which is like one of the games.
Is it? Oh, it's a mini game for farming.
I think so. I think it's like a little mini game where you have to plant stuff, all that kind of deal.
I know this is like from the updates. This is one of the things I know the least about. So
yeah,
I'll just defer to you on this because I don't know that much about the Hosidius house.
Yeah, let's just move on then. Because I don't know that much about it. If that would be good or
it's
not.
kind of like it. My first impression was like, okay, nice. They're paying attention to things that are out of date in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to like. I don't know if they have different teams for content updates, but it feels like whatever team works on, I'm assuming they have a team. If they don't, then this is wrong. But I feel like whatever team works on the landscaping and like new content areas, they like work their asses off a lot more in these last couple years because they have been adding new places like Fossil Island and then all of this Karen content, and now they're updating Karen content, like moving things around.
And
it just
new
seems like
announcements about new areas.
It's like it seems like a lot of their focus is on adding more map to the world, which is really cool, but not what I expected to happen when they kind of said, or when they basically said we're going to bring back this old game. I really expected them to immediately start fixing like mechanics of the game that were okay at the time, but now everyone realizes they're out of date. But they haven't done that as much as adding new areas.
Yeah, you were saying that you wanted like higher level skilling stuff that like it's not. What were you saying about that?
It's like it's just scalar gripes, and a lot of scalers I'm sure feel the same. Where it feels very weird to have. If you're okay, so you just hit 99 fishing recently.
Yes.
But you already hit the max like capabilities a long time ago before you hit 99.
Mm-hmm.
So hitting the 99 itself was more just for the pleasure, like the fulfillment of it, which is fine. Like 99, I don't think necessarily has to have anything crazy besides the skill cape. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it does feel strange. Just to give an example for smithing, at 99 you have the ability to finally make a rune plate body, but rune plate body is only like, it is nice to have for a quick pickup in stats to go maybe PK, and you're not too worried about losing something super valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But to have that be the end all, like the end game for smithing, feels very weird because it's really not even close to anything best in slot. And to be to have that as the end game of the skill. Feels,
were they ever talking about a like rework to mining and smithing at some point, or was that RS3?
If they did, I missed it or skimmed over it. I don't know. I really want there to be some sort of rework with just what you can make and like how it benefits having this skill.
Mm-hmm.
The way you level the skill is fine to me. Like, it is mundane, like, it is very repetitive, but that's just the nature of this game. And I'll get back onto that when it comes to warding people's complaints about the new skill. But that's my main gripe for skilling. But I mean, we've heard the same thing from a million other people. That's nothing new. People really want skilling updates.
Yeah, because I get, it is an RS3 thing that they were talking about it. Where, like, they are doing that, or did that, where they have moved it around. Because, like, Rune, you can out-level that so fast. Like, on your character, like, you're like, I have 99 smithing, but now I can make armor that I already have better versions of.
Yes, and that's another great point, is the 99 smithing is equal to 40 in combat, essentially. I believe that's right. I can double check that. Basically, I think at 40 defense, double checking now. Yeah, at 40 defense, you unlock the ability to wear rune armor. So in my opinion, that's basically saying 40 defense is equal to 99 smithing.
Yeah.
And that's like where the scale is. Like, okay, it's technically 85, but 99 I think is the level that you need to be able to make the rune plate body, which completes the whole set.
Well, it trains you in the beginning, like you make iron and steel and bronze, and you make all of them up to adamant, mithril, and then you can't make rune until way farther. It's like so weird.
It is a bit disjointed.
I never thought about it either when I used to play.
No, these are only thoughts that come to mind when now I'm older, and now I think about games, and like we both think of it in very mechanical and efficient ways, which isn't really the best way to think about most games. But RuneScape isn't something that is very in depth for I guess either roleplay or getting locked into a game and feel like you're part of the world. It's much more of like a community-based game, I feel like, and efficiency-based, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's just a skill complaint that we're already immediately off topic where we're just talking about normal updates. Already complaining.
I know. I love the game. I'm not complaining. I like all things. I like the new stuff. I
complain the most about things that I love the most. Is usually how it works.
I like the new stuff they announced. I feel like I want to talk about this. I've been waiting too long.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So they haven't added. They announced the skill. Because we were gonna vote on it. I would definitely assume, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's up for poll. They're proposing a new skill.
Yeah, they propose a new skill, which is crazy because I didn't play when they had any of the other polls for the other skills. Like that's when I was taking a break.
I think we missed out. Oh, do you mean like you had started to play when they brought RuneScape back, but then you took a break when they had the poll? Yeah,
like I started playing when it came out again, and then I stopped playing shortly after, and then I didn't start playing again until when we did. So
I think when you got me into it, it was like we had missed the sailing poll.
Yeah, but it was still on the thing, right? It was still on the page.
It was. I think it was like in the history of polls, basically, or it was still up for poll, and neither of us really realized it.
Yeah.
And then I think at the tail end of me kind of putting the game down again, I think they started voting for Artisan, I believe is the timeline. But I also missed that, so neither of us have really looked at or considered a new skill for this game in a long time. We've just assumed that the skills we have are what we need.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I was like, oh, it's probably like a new area, which it also was,
Mm-hmm.
but so I guess we should talk about what it is.
Yeah.
And they explained it pretty much as like crafting is for range and how or fletching, and how like mining and smithing are for your armor. Like you can create magic armor. So like they said they're reworking Mystic and like split bark and stuff to work more with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Um,
really like fills a gap in terms of like world lore of how items are created. And they talk about this like there's just a graph on the OSRS like wiki site, the main
mhm.
site rather,
Yeah,
that just shows the trinity of each like system where they all have partner skills that help create their items. But
yeah,
even I mean, it never really occurred to me, to be honest, where all the magic items come from. It's probably a lack of knowledge for me. I always assumed that I mean, they have to come from somewhere, and I just must not know about it. But here it is. They've said this has been missing for a while, and here you go. This is how magic items
yeah.
are made in the world.
And it's called warding. I don't know if I said that. And
Yes, yeah.
yeah, I guess. And they said they wanted it to fit kind of like it could have been there all along, and I think that it kind of does. You draw these wards on the ground, or next to these stones that are like sticking out of the earth now, and you like create the armor, and that's how you train it. You have like a lantern, a lamp, a channeling lamp that you hold, and like it's pretty interesting. Like it doesn't feel that far off. Like it kind of seems like it could have been there, honestly.
Yeah, it did. When they announced it, they said their goal was to make a skill that feels like it should have been in the game from the beginning. And I'm like in at least partial agreement with that. In that when I was watching the example video they created with the concept art, it looked very much a RuneScape thing, just slightly updated with some of the effects, and it uses a lot of the animations from the game currently. Just because of their example video, they may be subject to change, but it
Mhm.
made it feel a lot more at home.
I think it's definitely like I feel like it should be in there, and then like we can work on like the intricacies of it, but I think the concept should definitely be in the game.
Yeah, like my stance on it currently is that warding needs to be in some form or another in the game. An ability to create magic armor is almost necessary at this point. After it wasn't necessary before it was announced to me. Now all of a sudden I'm like, of course this needs to be here. Why didn't we think about this at all?
You're like, oh yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, there's no crafting for magical items. And
I mean, because
now
you
it's more
rune
like,
craft, but it's not like, yeah, wearing Mystic and like all that. You're like, how does this have magic in it?
yes, exactly. Where does it come from? And they've been primarily from shop vendors and monster drops, which I knew you could obviously buy some things from shop vendors just to start off with.
Mhm.
Like even in like Varrock, I think there's like a store that you can buy that from. But it never really occurred to me that you couldn't make them yourself until I started picking up the game again. What is it, 2013, 2014, when I started picking it back up?
It was not. It was like 2017, wasn't it?
Oof, man, was it? It feels like, I mean, I was at my old job, so that would have been, yeah, I mean, it could have been last year. Man, I feel like a lot more time has passed. Maybe not.
I know.
We should probably just explain what warding involves mainly, because we've been talking about it. I'm assuming if anyone would listen to this, they would know what warding entails already. But I guess we can just go really quickly.
Yeah, go
through the basics.
Yeah, go through it, bro.
Okay. I mean, it really just involves a few things. You just need it's just like smithing, but it's also not. It's like smithing, and it's just like crafting, but it's not. You need the basic materials to craft what you're going to make, which is wizard. Let's just say blue wizard robes, and then you need a new item or resource they've introduced, which is runic energy. They have some concept art on their main site for it, and then they've also introduced two new tools, at least so far, as concepts, which is the soapstones and then channeling lamps.
Yeah, the soapstones are like you need them for the specific whatever you're making. Like they're like earth, air, or whatever.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the talismans that you use to find
For rune crafting.
the altars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the last time I've used a talisman specifically to find where I need to go.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's their concept for this. And it's very similar to the rune crafting altars, that all of these stones that you're going to do the warding is they're all based on the different energies and magics. So why they've proposed like this skill specifically is to fill the gap for the crafting, and also to halfway solve splashing in Lumbridge, which is just casting spells on low level rats and missing.
Wait, is
constantly to
changing
train magic.
splashing?
Yes. So this is their halfway solution to getting AFK splashers outside of Lumbridge, because but in the process of gathering runic energy from these stones, you are essentially casting spells on them and splashing them, and then it also gives you energy. So instead of going to Lumbridge to splash on rats, you would just say, okay, I'm going to level warding and splash magic on these stones and get some magic XP as well.
So splashing won't work the same way.
I think it works the same. It's just that they're giving an incentive to not splash on enemies now. That's the idea, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It seems like it pairs like really well to me.
It does, yeah. I mean, to me, it makes sense where it's like a sister skill to magic, so it would make perfect sense to use, at least gain magic experience along with warding experience when you're doing this. That's basically it in a nutshell. You can gather the rest of it. Is you use the materials, and you use the materials with some runic energy, and then you craft the item. The economy of that and whatnot, we don't know yet, but that's the basic gist.
Yeah, I think I like the look of the cape. Like, I think that looks pretty cool. It's like gray and purple.
I do, yeah. I like the color scheme. A lot of people aren't a fan. Some people want it to be all purple and the gray trimming, but I like the purple trim and the purple icon.
Yeah, I definitely dig that. Yeah, and I guess like you can make this equipment, but I guess I just don't know, and we're gonna use it in any way, like, by the time it comes out, or if it ever does.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is a lot of complaints I've seen is this is just basically more work to do for a little reward. Like, who wants to make blue wizard robes? No one needs those.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
So they've talked about introducing at least 2 new sets of magic armor, both of which I don't think they've said will be best in slot. So already the elite efficient people are would probably have some gripes to that.
Yeah.
And another thing they've said is that a lot of the gear that you can make using this skill will not be offensive geared. It's basically for mage tank gear. And I'm not a PvPer or I'm not even a PvMer yet. I'm still just a skiller, so I'm not really knowledgeable about how useful that will be, if it's good for PvM or if it's actually good for PvP instead, or if it will be useful for anything.
I mean, I think it's cool if it's like adds just another layer to the combat where it's like, I can be a battle mage now. I don't have to worry about like, maybe they're trying to encourage like not doing tri-breeding or not doing like hybrid. You just like, okay, I can go like a battle tank and I don't know, do something with that.
Yeah, anything that will shake up the meta, I'm all for. Because a static meta is not very exciting in any competitive game.
Yeah, you want it to change, I guess, even if everyone hates it.
A lot of people have complained, similarly to the current skills, I'll start that over. They've complained that a lot of this concept could just be added to other skills. Rather than introducing a new skill.
How's that?
basically the main argument is, why isn't this just in crafting? This is essentially all crafting. You're crafting something. You're making something. And that is, I mean, it's true. I think that's mainly a fault of Jack X's decision to name the skill crafting rather than something more specific. Crafting is a super huge umbrella, so a lot of things could be considered crafting.
Yeah, that's true. But you you make the hides with it, you can use those, yeah, it's just like those came out so long ago that it encompassed more things at the time.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a product of its time.
Yeah.
And since it is, people do not want a new skill that is similar to other skills, just in a different genre or umbrella, which is they don't want smithing and crafting for magic stuff. They don't want that. They already have what they need, and you can just get those items from anywhere else in the game. You don't need to make them yourself, so this just adds more work.
Right.
Which is true in some cases, so I can see the argument there. But I'm a much more of a fan of rounding out the combat triangle and now the skilling triangle, essentially. People who are mainly combat don't care about this update because it won't change much for them in terms of how they obtain the armor, because if you're already high level, you have the money to buy anything you need.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I mean. Like,
skill,
when we get it, like, we're gonna get those early levels fast. Like, we're just be grinding that shit and just selling it, or whatever.
Exactly. And nobody really needs blue wizard robes or red wizard, Zamorak.
Maybe when I was
all like
starting, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, even when I started doing magic, just for the hell of it, I bought that. I think I bought ancient gear or something. What do I have? Maybe not ancient. I think I bought mystic gear is what the right term is. See, there goes my knowledge of magic.
Yeah. In Mystic, the blue, and they have the...
Yeah, I just dropped some money on Mystic gear, and that was it. That's all I needed. But for higher level people, I'm sure they have almost best in slot or best in slot for what they need. So this new skill doesn't introduce anything crazy. The armor they've introduced is, I think it was... I don't remember the right word for it, but it's blood and it's soul. I'll find the right term for it. It's like bark or something.
Split bark?
Split bark is it's currently in the game, and then I think it becomes blood bark and soul bark or something.
Oh, ominous. Now I'm scared.
Yeah, blood bark and soul bark are being proposed to, I guess, essentially spice up the mage armor. And I'm all for adding new sets of armor and gear.
I'm down.
I'm definitely, I'm on the side of like adding content. Just for, not for content's sake, but just to add more variety. I'm all for that.
Yeah, like more armors and weapons, I feel like isn't a bad thing. As long as it's like balanced out, I guess. Like more natural feeling. It's not just like, this is the new best thing, so let's buy it.
Yeah, definitely. They've done a good job of keeping keeping the level creep and like the power creep down in this game, and balancing all of the encounters around the current power creep. They don't want to be a traditional MMO. They don't want to have to, they don't want players to have to come back and then constantly play new content to get the best gear. They're adding gear at a very slow rate, and it's not even best in slot every time.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Warding. So when they're talking about best in slot gear, they say that the warding skill is mainly aimed towards low to medium players, and right off the bat, I'm sure a lot of players are not interested in this, like in having a new skill that is aimed towards lower level people, simply because it's for them, it's not adding new content for them that they need to play to get better. It's just a chore.
For me, like, hearing that, like, I wish I had it when I was a lower level, obviously, like, because that would have been cool. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, I think sometimes they just gotta add content that's not for everyone.
That
like,
is...
you know what I mean? Like, the high-level players, like, okay, maybe they would have used it when they weren't, but, the newer newbies need it. And they're doing it with mobile coming out. What if we just get all these like new mobile users being like, yes, it's the best thing ever, or like saying, no, this sucks, I don't even know what this is.
That's a good point.
Or I think you need like a certain amount of like total level to vote, don't you?
I think you need to be a member, right? And then I think you might need. I think it's because it prevents botting to votes, like bot votes. So yeah, I think there is like a total level of something, or maybe not. To be honest, I mean, if it's done by total level, then I'm sure there's plenty of bots that could vote anyway.
I mean, I'm sure it happens regardless.
Yeah. That's a good point though. With mobile coming out, it's gonna introduce a lot of new people to this game that are gonna pick it up on the App Store, and it's free to play at the beginning, and excited, maybe interest them. I'm very excited for mobile. But I think this is a great time to introduce warding before or just as mobile's coming out. Warding will get added to the game, and then the Trinity system will be complete for crafting, smithing, warding, and it will also assist lower to medium level players, which it seems like they're aiming it primarily for a lot of the new players coming in, so that smithing is I'm gonna completely ignore the
I guess
gripes I have with it.
Yeah,
but
I guess we have to remember that it's gonna, if it went through, it would have to change like the properties of like Mystic and all that, so that it's a higher level or lower level, so there'll be more armors, and like, so maybe making that Mystic is going to be off the bat really expensive. We don't know how the economy will be with that either.
I think they'll need, if we decide to push this through to make it a skill, Jagex is going to need to remove almost all of their armors from shopkeepers, vendors around the world, and they're going to need to make it drop from way fewer creatures, at least the medium to higher level items, so that warding is useful for money making and not just making armor for yourself.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
if you can get any piece of armor from anything else, why would you bother with warding?
Yeah, I mean, this is like, talked about for a while, like with Zulrah when they nerfed it, because like you didn't need Shark to go fish them. You could just kill Zulrah and get a bunch of Shark.
Right.
Like it was, devaluing stuff, and then they had to nerf it.
Yeah, exactly. So they will definitely need to pull that off. It's going to be a lot of work, but I mean, if they just remove, it's going to probably upset some people. Not too much. I mean, if you're higher enough level, you don't care. And if you're upset about that, then you're just being upset for no reason. But it will, in order to make this skill useful, they will have to basically remove the access to these items from all over the world.
Now, when they say mid-level, what does that mean?
I think
XP wise, like what are they talking about here?
I think comparison is how smithing is to rune. Like highest level smithing is only like rune armor, which is arguably mid tier. I guess it's a good mid tier item. So that's probably what it's gonna do.
Mid tier item is in like what levels of that skill. You know what I mean? Like, because if 92 is like half the XP, then
is Mystic? Would Mystic be a good comparison to rune armor? In terms of like that skill is rune.
I mean, I can look
to combat to.
Are you in combat right now?
Mystic is to magic. I'm not in combat.
Then just look in the magic thing, the guide, and just look at the equipment page.
Armor. Yes, it is. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Mystic is essentially rune for magic. So I'm assuming if they're gonna make this the smithing for magic items, Mystic will be the highest tier shit you can make, which would be disappointing, I'm sure, but so is smithing. So
I know it is, isn't it?
That's if they're aiming it towards low to medium level players for gear to like gear those players, then I'm sure level 99 warding would be making a mystic robe chest piece.
Probably.
but that's very linear. Like, that's a very linear way of looking at it. There's a lot less involved with warding in terms of like the pieces that you wear. So, like, for a lot of these magic sets are just like 3 or 4 pieces at max. Well, I suppose, and I guess there are magic boots, I guess. Jeez. 'Cause there's at least 4, because there's 4, and then there's the amulet, and there's gloves. Are there magic gloves? I'm not familiar with magic gear. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, do it. That's what I do.
Problem is, whenever you're in the I'd have to. So, the easiest way to look it up for combat armor is smithing. You can go to items, and you can see the very specific items you can make. But since warding isn't in the game, you can't look at the specific items you can make. You can only look at the items you can wear. Which is just, you can wear mystic robes. And it's just, does that mean everything? I mean, I suppose so.
I mean, I suppose they're going to change it, Like, modify where those are on the list.
Yeah, you're right, they'd have to.
Oh, speaking of which, of getting my fishing 99, they're in this new area they're adding. The Cabos Lowlands. There's like new fishing getting added to it. Aerial fishing.
Yeah, doesn't it involve like a bird?
Yeah, a bird is sent out.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but you need like hunter paired with it now, so it's like, I can fish the best one, but I need hunter to match now.
I think it's really aimed for the highest level fishing and hunting, I guess, is that you really only do this when you're 80 plus, I think.
I'm down. Like, I'll just do the low level fishing and train with the hunter. So it says, in the middle of Lake Mulk is a small island home to Nicholas Lockhart, a peculiar fishing person with a very different approach to catching fish. He uses birds. Yeah, so you fish with a bird, I guess. There's no like video, I don't think. There might be. So you wield the bird.
I haven't seen one.
You wield the bird. King worms are used for starting bait, and they can be gathered on the island. When the player starts to catch a fish, they will cut the fish into a stackable fish chunks. The bird will take 1 chunk every 3 to 6 catches as a reward for gathering the fish. So yeah, like, I could start off doing like modeled eel because you need 73 fishing, 68 hunter. So I'll try that out. And you can get a freaking like salmon like fashion scape holder.
I do see that. And you can get the golden tench.
The golden tench?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes. The golden one. I want it.
At level 99 fishing and 99 hunter, you should expect to get 60k fishing and 80k hunter XP.
Oh, yeah. It does say that. Dang.
So, what do you need?
That's pretty good hunter XP.
It is, but that's calculated at the max already.
Yeah, I mean, I have 99 fishing, so...
So I'd say if you get 91 fishing and 87 hunter, you can use this method to get to 99 fairly well. Because it's fast. At least the numbers turn out to be faster than Barbarian.
Yeah, 30. It says 35 hunter is 25k and 99 is 80k. Like, mine's like 64 right now. So, like, I should be getting... somewhere in between there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're 60.
Because my fishing already is there. And my cooking will be...
Is it just double or no?
I don't know.
It might double. I mean, if you're getting 50k hunter XP... See, this is the problem, is that you just maxed fishing. So if you had... Not max XP, but max level. And if you were at like 95 fishing, you might have been encouraged to start hunting. And then get your hunter up to a decent level, and then you would get both at the same time while doing this method. Yeah,
but now that, so let's say I had 99 hunter and fishing already, like, I could just do it for fun and, like, try out the new method, It wouldn't be about getting the 99. It would just be kind of trying out the new stuff for a skill that you have a 99 in, you know?
Are you gonna go for the mulch sack? Or sorry, the fish sack?
Yeah, I want both.
I
want both for sure. It's like the coolest shit fishing has gotten in a long time.
It's true. I mean, yeah, I really like the new outfit with the fish sack is something I want to have, and I'm not even a fisher.
You'll do it eventually.
I will.
You'll want
yeah,
the
it'll
outfit.
it'll be like in the list of like my first like $5.99s. I'm sure I'll have fishing because it's just very AFKable, very chill.
Yeah, I really it took me a long time, but I just AFK'd most of it.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
And I have the mobile beta for Android, so I just like have it on my phone or to just play, so it's nice.
Mhm.
It is like a little like my Android phone sucks, but I'm just waiting for that official release for the iOS, you know.
Dude, I'm waiting even more than you. You have an Android.
Yeah, I had like a little treat.
Okay, so I'm just looking up some of the complaints for the introduction of warding. And a lot of the complaints, at least one of them, is questioning why we need it in the game, as compared to the game right now.
Yeah, link it to me.
It's on my phone, but I can throw it in there 1 second.
Dude, I'm rocking my fishing cape right now. Hell yeah, dude.
Shut up.
While I'm killing fire giants.
I'm just blast mining really inefficiently.
Oh shit. Trying to get that Slayer up.
Okay, there we go. So, yeah, one of the main questions is why do we need it in this game? My first impression, just from a game design point, is...
Yeah, okay, I didn't see this one, so yeah, let me take a look. So, the purpose of warding is to introduce a new skill centered around crafting magical armors. I mean, yeah, he's saying he doesn't want to craft a bunch of robes that he doesn't need.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
My immediate argument is just like, what the fuck else are you doing with all the other skills? Like,
yeah, there's like, should that even be a counterpoint?
When you start fletching, what are you using, bronze arrows? Like, are you happy about making bronze arrows? No, but they're in the game, and it's a base skill. You're gonna make a bunch of bronze arrows, and you start to make a bunch of mithril arrows, and then you're gonna start to make a bunch. Like, you're not gonna be using a lot of these arrows when you are at high level range. But you have to just make them to level up a little bit. I'm sure there's probably way faster methods. Once you unlock one thing, you're going to make that one thing for, 30 or 40.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I fished barbarian fishing for like ever. Like, since level, we had ever 58 or 60 something when like you can catch all the fish types.
Yes.
And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think someone who makes that argument is, this content isn't, why do I need to be making all this useless stuff when I don't need it? Is that kind of argument doesn't seem very valid to me, because most of the game is making the shit you don't need so that you can get to the shit you do need, which is just the game in itself a lot of times.
Well, and he's saying, why not just make smithing? Like, I think that's not also a bad idea either. Like, I think that could work, but
why not making smithing what? Sorry.
It's making smithing better. Like, just having where you can smith the armors. I don't know. I like the duality of the skill. I don't know. I guess it's just like, do we want to repress skills from RuneScape, or just like it needs to be really perfect when they announce it?
I think that that's an interesting. Yeah, that's a thing. Sorry, that's like an interesting point too. Is do the skills need to be fully refined before we poll them? Yes. Or do we want the polling to help refine the skills? And I think I'm in favor of the second personally, because that is, game designers these days, at least huge companies, aren't very cooperative with the player base. They're very much just they make the content and then they release it. And this is one of the very few games that I've played where they are super they communicate a lot with the community, and if the community's not on board with something, they're not just going to put it out because they already made it. They're going to say, okay, we're not going to add this. Then hours of work are just going to go away, but that's because you guys don't want it.
Yeah, I guess it's like a double tough spot, rock in a hard place. Like, I would love to have a new skill, and like we don't get them that often, so it's like you're excited and you're like, oh, that sounds cool. I think the concept's cool. I think if we can if the vote isn't just to be like, okay, do we want it or not? Is it just like, okay, like, do we like the concept? Like, what do we want to change about it if you want it, Because I like the idea, making magic armor. I think that's pretty cool. And like, you could just be a person that, you could just go 99 first on warding and then like be able to make all your magic robes and like armors and sell them and like use it as a way of profit. Yes. Depending on if the items are needed, like there's a lot of things that would have to go into it.
The gap it fills and the mechanical method, the concept of these rune altars, they've been around all this time, but they haven't been visible. It's a little far-fetched, obviously, because this game's been out for so long, but how else are they going to introduce new things that pop up in popular places? That's all you can do.
Like when I first...
But the concept is very good. I like being able to... I like the idea of there are these massive rune altars and you will see wizards casting spells on them as you run past. I mean, that seems like a very RuneScape thing.
Well, it was saying like you can do it anywhere, but you get more XP if you do it at the altar thing.
Yes,
so
I did read that somewhere.
Okay, it's like... Then there's just going to be a million people around these things. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's just like barb fishing. You're going to see a stack of 12 people sitting on top of each other, all casting spells and splashing.
And splashing.
Yeah. And I mean, that is RuneScape in a nutshell with a lot of skills. Mining is one of those skills where, as I've been doing it, it doesn't work like that in a lot of ways. The only place it really works at that I've seen is Motherlode Mine, and even then, for some reason, there's this stigma of people not sitting on top of each other in mining, even though you can, and it doesn't affect anyone. I just don't see people do it. But fishing, since the spot doesn't deplete, the more people there are, everyone just, does it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
On one spot, and it's very normal, yeah. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that with Magic either. Like, everyone's splashing on an altar for XP bonuses. Cool. I don't know. It also gives you a chance to talk to people, too. Anything that puts people in the same place, I'm a big fan of.
So you could, essentially be, a place to chat, just like fishing is, and, get it, how RuneScape normally you meet people?
Yeah. Yeah, I was always jealous when you were fishing, is that you would just type to some people, and since it was AFK-able, or at least moderately, they'd be able to talk back. They'd be more inclined to. I've tried several times mining, both in the mining guild.
You tried to make friends, bro. It didn't work out.
I would just say the classic stuff. It'd be like mining level. I just say random stuff. No one talks back to you because mining is a tiny bit more click intensive in some methods. So people don't want to bother losing the gains to say anything to you. But when you're splashing magic on something, or if you're fishing at a fishing spot, people are more inclined to just, splashing rats is super AFK in a lot of cases. You just click in one spot to select your spell, and then you have that spell defaulted, so it's just splashing constantly. I don't know how active the altar will be, but I feel like as long as you have 20 people in one spot, someone's going to be talking.
Yeah, fishing, there's people talking all the time. You always see, memes about it.
The community they're not exactly the best community in terms of friendliness.
Bro.
But I think it's really just a 10%. There's only about 10% of people are, dicks in OSRS. And that 10% is really verbal. And the 90%, which I feel like we're included in, is either not very verbal, or verbal and genuinely nice. And that's, at least that's my impression from Reddit so far. But Reddit is in itself just another
Yeah, but they use Reddit a lot. Even the mods are on it.
Yeah, and that that definitely adds to it too, since it like encourages us to go to the subreddit rather than any other official forum.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, not that I have ever complained on Reddit about the game.
No, I mean, when I see people very adamant about not adding warding, the reasons are usually because why don't we just add this to a current skill? Or why do we need this content in the game? Why don't we add more skilling content? Not skilling, Slayer content.
Bro, everything's Slayer.
Yeah, that's usually the complaints for that. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be dead if it came out. I mean, my first impression was I forgot that we voted on stuff, so I was just like, oh, sweet, and then I was like,
yeah.
Oh wait.
Sorry, I'm just looking through a lot of his complaints here. He definitely complains. I'm saying he a lot. It's just a post on Reddit. We're just skimming through some of the comments in the posts to like pick out people's arguments, which is very shitty, but at the same time it's kind of like there's not like so far from what I've seen there isn't one major discussion thread that people are raising really good points in.
I thought there was.
If there is, then we should probably go to that one. I'll look.
Dum dee dee dum dee dee doo. Boo doo doo doo. Are you just mining?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like occasionally doing blast mining while I'm talking. There isn't like a pinned post, so I would have to look through a lot of it. I wish there was just a discussion post about everything, but this one is pinned, but it's just about Song of the Elves, which is I'm not very interested in right now.
Bro.
Okay. Yeah, I can't find anything.
How long did you want it to be?
I mean, we could just like talk for an hour and then I'll cut it down to like 30 minutes probably.
Oh, cool.
At the most.
Sweet.
One of the complaints is that people think the gameplay is stupid, basically, to put it like that.
It's dumb and it's stupid.
They're calling it's like extra steps added to crafting already. And they say like and you were saying like who wants to run to a place to do something, like you were saying that's what they were complaining about. And who wants to run to a place to be able to do something? Like that seems very
well like rune crafting. Like
that's
no one
likes
likes rune crafting, you know, because it's all just running to these altars back and forth.
Yes, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people. I don't know if it's people's complaints about running back and forth or people's complaints is that it takes so long. I don't know what the main argument there is. I don't mind the concept of it. I think it's very cool to have to do that, but I am also in agreement that they probably should have thought about how long it takes to go to those places and the XP per hour that it is and how long it feels to do, how active it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need it to be like, you know, AFKable. Like, I'm okay if it's just like, you know, something you have to click and do.
Mm-hmm.
Like Slayer or something. You know, you're like clicking and doing all this.
Yes, Slayer, I mean, is pretty active in terms of, like, active in the way that you have, every task could be a new set of monsters, and you're hoping to get a couple, like, a few specific ones that are, like, the best.
Uh-huh.
But there's always something different, you know, in terms of, like, okay, this time I did dragons, and this time I'm doing fire giants. So it's like, you're in a new place doing a new thing. I mean, doing the same thing, but you're in a new place, sorry.
Yeah, I'm killing them right now.
Exactly. But I mean, the complaint that, does anyone really want to go to these altars and do this? It's
I don't know. It
the
does kind
energy
of sound tedious. I mean, if it's like a lot of
Mhm.
running, like if you can do it AFK in a bank, but it's better to do it at the altar, like right off the bat, it's kind of just like, I guess, do I want to AFK at the altar or AFK in the bank? You know, like, what do you want to do?
Oh, that's a good, yeah. I think what's gonna happen is the altar. If people are want XP, they have to make the armor at the altars, which is gonna be more running. If people want gold, they'll just make it at the bank. So higher gold per hour will just be making it anywhere, probably making it in GE or something. And if they want experience, they're gonna have to actually work for it to run, which is gonna be a pain, I'm sure. And then the gathering the runic energy, it is tradable, I think, according to the post they made. So you can either choose to buy it, which is another gold making method for free to play players and lower level
Oh yeah,
players.
because part of it is free to play, right? Isn't that what they said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like smithing where you get cut off at some point. And like armor and stuff like that.
So then, like, yeah, I mean, free to play players are gonna be able to vote on this.
True. I mean, I would imagine a lot of. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the adding this in is going to basically make higher level players, they'll try out the runic energy part, and then after that, if they're rich enough, they will never do the altars they'll never AFK at the altars to gather runic energy and splash.
You just buy enough to do it AFK.
XP. Exactly. It's just like mining. Sorry, it's just like leveling your cooking that you're doing now with the wine.
The jugs of wine, yeah.
Yes. So, like, it's just gonna be another skill that you can basically spend a shit ton of money on and do it that way. But if you want the best XP per hour, you're going to need to go to the altars. At least spices it up a bit instead of just standing in a bank and making all the stuff. But who knows? A lot of times the developers don't do it like the way they intend, and standing at a bank making one item might be faster than having to run all the way to an altar to get some bonus XP.
Yeah.
If they don't make it enough, like, it might not be worth it to even bother to run.
Yeah, I mean, that's like all like, so I think like all we need to vote on, I guess we'll see when it goes in. I don't know if it says on the page, but like, you know, just like, you know, vote on the concept itself, because they probably won't just implement it after like, you know, after that first yes. They probably will, you know, be like, okay, because they were even saying we want some more help from you guys, that kind of crap.
Yeah, I like the concept. I'm going to need more details on the execution, essentially. I mean, we have basically all the details we need to know if we want the skill in the game. But I do want to see, since I'm a lot more like, now that we've picked the game back up and we're older and we think about games a lot more differently, I want to see where the end game is for warding, if there is any end game, or if it's mainly just for lower level players. I'm fine with it being for lower level players. I would just rather it also be up. Like, encourage an update.
Well, like, we could think about
these crafting skills,
as in like raids, or if you want to think about raids and stuff, maybe like when they design them, they'll be designing them with warding in mind. So like, if you just have a high level warding, you can create this raid specific item that helps you out. You know, you know, like it could be used that way as well. I would think.
What do you think about the skilling rings that they're introducing as a possibility for warding? It's not called the skill ring; it's called something else. But I'm just calling it skilling ring because it's really easy to remember.
What's its function?
If you wear it, you can create them from warding, and if you wear them while skilling, it will give you boosts in experience. Essentially,
do they wear out?
So, yes, they're like temporary.
That's very
summoning resource.
Like,
is it?
Yeah, summoning, like you could get like certain pets, and they would raise your ability, like your XP rate for said thing that you're doing. But it's like an animal following you around.
They're like drawing from the skills.
I think I like it. I think since it's a ring, it doesn't follow you around. Like, you have to waste that ring spot on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Which, I mean,
are they just
wasting a ring skill, like, as you're skilling is not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's like I have no use for that yet. Like, I guess not yet. Like, I guess I could use that, definitely.
I think they would be very, like, it would be standard. Like, if you don't have this ring, then you're not doing it the best way you could.
That's a good way to make it useful, like where you want to level warding. You're like, okay, I just need to level this up so I can get this ring.
Yeah, for real. And, like, if buying the rings are very expensive, like, I'm talking, like, real expensive, then, yeah, I would really encourage you to level up warding and make it necessary and interesting to have a goal to get to.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I take that back. I would use those. Depends on how, and they might be worth something too.
For me, it's like it would be in the same vein as the graceful set. Is that it's just something you do. You get warding to this level so that you can make any of the skill rings you need. Unless, of course, they make it like 99 for one of the rings, in which case maybe not as accessible.
I don't know. Would they do that?
I don't know. That would be harsh.
Harsh, bud.
But maybe for, like, man, if they decided to do... No, they wouldn't do that. There's already plenty of combat rings in the game. I don't know. Would you have access to every skill ring?
Did it say it would be for every
level?
skill or just for, like, warding or magic itself?
They didn't. They only proposed... The only example they used was farming. In that... If you wear the ring while you're farming, you have a 10% chance to... It's essentially the Varrock armor for every skill, I think is what they're trying to say. Is that you get a 10% chance to have something happen to give you some bonus XP or gold. So farming, you would get an extra herb patch or something would happen, like when...
It would yield more or something.
Yes. Yeah,
I got you. Okay. Huh.
Which is like... That was the most surprising thing. The skill actually took a backseat for me. When it went onto that, I was like, man, they're touching, they're reaching there. That's some difficult territory. That's some RS3 feeling stuff, you know?
Yeah, the XP
for
stuff,
OSRS. Yeah, any boosts to XP, like, across the board is not microtransaction-y, but it feels like, man, it's becoming easier and easier to level things. How is the community going to react to that?
Yeah.
And I was surprised to not see many people up in arms about it at all. I haven't seen many people complaining about it. Maybe I've just been missing it.
Because maybe it'll just be a separate thing and we could just be like, no.
Maybe it'll be so uninfluential to our XP rates that we just don't even care. I guess, yeah, to use my Varrock armor 2 example earlier, like, not everyone who levels mining gets that. Because you have to do the medium diary. It's a pain in the ass. So I could see, like, you know, it's not necessary to do. And it only gives you 10% occasionally to mine a second ore. So, like, that only goes up a certain way. So maybe if they, like, gate the rings behind...
Like a diary?
Things like that. Probably not a diary, but more like it's only useful if you mine... Like, you're only going to get XP increases if you're mining mithril ore and under. Then no one's going to care about that, you know?
Yeah.
Or, like fishing. If you only fish salmon, it works. You're like, what?
A lot of salmon is getting fished. That's what I fished.
Oh, sorry.
Barbarian salmon. And shit. Trout. I dropped a lot of them. I have 122 more fire giants to go. Ooh, and I'm about to get my Slayer level up. Dude, I'm just making all kinds of gains, dude.
You need to slow down, dude.
You just need to slow your roll, bro.
Whoa, man, you're going a little fast for me there, dude.
Dude, mithril square shield? Hell yeah. Alking that shit. I got a rune 2-hand, and it's high elk is more than it sells in the GE.
Hell yeah, dude.
38k.
I think that's what the gold like necklaces were or whatever, right? I don't remember.
Their value alking was higher than the GE, yeah. Well, gold necklace
Yeah.
is like a low level way to do it, like, you know, like to sell the necklaces, but like alking, like I think bracelets is what I was doing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway.
Anywho.
Yeah. I mean, what are your overall thoughts? Do you want the skill in the game? What do you want to see before it gets in the game?
I think
if you do?
I would vote yes on the concept, and then, you know, if I have a chance to say no later, if we don't, I don't know. I think, I don't know. It's so scary because you're like, you know, if it's not good and you like said yes, and then you're like, oh, man, I got this crap in here.
I don't think it's going to break the game in any way. So, just off of that, I'm not very negative towards it.
Yeah, I definitely like the concept. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm just excited reading about it. Just because we live in a world where we can get a new skill in RuneScape.
I know, holy shit.
But my personality is very. If it doesn't break the game, I'm going to consider having it. Pretty much, I don't mind new content as long as it doesn't break the current format. And I'm not talking about like shifting the meta. That's something different. I just mean like, you know, it's basically evolution of combat. You know, that was a tipping point for a lot of people, and a lot of people think that broke the game back then. So
I definitely stopped playing after that.
Yeah, that I don't think warding is anywhere near as catastrophic as as that. People are eager to argue against having it that like as if it is, but I'm not as much. I'm much more of like, okay, I'll give this a chance.
Yeah, like I would definitely go. Like I remember when summoning came out and like we all logged on and like ran to like get the skill and like we're like, oh dude, and like you're getting those levels up fast again, like you were saying.
I know, it's a good feeling to get those levels. That's why I'm always nostalgic killing cows. Because you just level so quickly is what it feels like. You're always getting a level every few minutes. Now here I am.
Here I am. 90 what? Smith or
94. 94 mining. Not even that good comparatively to like people, but I'm still feeling like I'm slow.
Faster than I did it.
Yeah, I probably want to see. I want to see more blog updates. I don't want to see a poll for a long time. I don't want to see a poll for the next 30 days about anything to do with warding. I want to see more blog updates about the details of what Mod West's ideas were for it and the concept art, and I want to see their decisions on how they're going to remove the items availability right now.
Yeah, and just more in depth of like the mechanics.
Yeah, like the concept itself is an A-okay for me. I'm boring shit in RuneScape. There's so much boring shit in RuneScape already. I am not opposed to having another boring like AFK method or however you want to describe it. I don't think this is going to be as AFK as I think it will be. But it fits well with this game already. This is not the most revolutionary, exciting stuff here.
Now. Do you dare speak ill?
So I am not opposed to having a method. I think it fits very well, and I think they kept with the theme of RuneScape pretty well. It's sailing to me.
As long as it doesn't take like 300 hours to get to max, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah, for me, I don't want that either. I don't want it to be that long either. I think it just needs to be if it becomes the longest skill to level and it is not fun, I will be.
It's like runecrafting. Like, I like the idea of runecrafting too, but I don't want to do it right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so if they make this the new longest skill to level, I will be a bit upset. But no, I mean, not if I don't want to level it, I just won't.
I'm quitting.
I'm quitting RuneScape. This is too much, man. I don't agree with this.
You frickin' fricks! You're ruining Sonic.
You're ruining it. Yeah, but I mean, for sailing, to me, just the general concept immediately, I was like, sailing in RuneScape? That seems like out of nowhere.
Yeah, that seems like
me.
off.
Abstract. Very, like, I am nowhere near involved with any of the water. So I mean, it's already passed. It's been denied. So I'm not going to go back and, super study what it was going to be. I'll take a quick look, but I'm not going to, if I get too invested in it, I will just be disappointed it didn't make it if I like it.
Yeah.
And if it ended up being something like it's like a pirating skill, that would have been pretty cool.
But I don't know how it would work with this game.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't seem to fit very well.
But warding looks just like any other boring skill that we have.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Exactly, is that it's a skill that will use the world as it is now. You'd have to. It's not like sailing. You'd have to bring in a lot of water mechanics.
And I've played fishing trawler. Okay.
Fishing. Yeah, it's not exactly
to get that outfit.
Sitting on a boat is
AFKing and keeping that blue bar up.
Exactly. So for me, sailing is a lot more of a jump in a skill idea, but warding to me fits a lot better. So I am a lot more on board.
Did they say in there anywhere, like, if they were doing like a poll or anything?
They said they will. I think they did say feedback somewhere. Here we go.
Wait, would they say it's
They're gonna poll the Cabos Lowlands. They haven't even. That's not even through yet. They're gonna poll that. I think it'll make it through though, which is fine.
So it also has another use called dissolving. This involves using undesired or junk items and using them on a ward to break them down. In return, you'll receive runic essence and a chance to get back some of the components the item is made for. For example,
is huge.
Dissolving an adamant plate body will give a chance of receiving some adamant bars. Okay, so that's way cooler.
Really important detail though. I think a mod said this will not give you XP. Dissolving things.
I think that sounds familiar.
Yeah, there's no buying shit at the bank and dissolving it to get the base components, but it definitely, a lot of people have been saying this will this will shift the economy to help with junk items a lot more. So now instead of just having, a stack of ash, I'm sure you could probably do something with it. Or at least ash is the base component of something else.
Yeah, they're essentially saying that they're making it for low to medium and that they expect top tier magical equipment to include Arums and Ancestral. That it is for low level.
Mm-hmm.
It
is definitely.
It says, however, warding provides access to defensive magical armors and will not produce armor with high magical accuracy bonuses.
Yeah, so it's a very defensive skill. Armor sets.
We intend to pull warding later this year. Please make sure you have expanded the various sections to see all the information in the blog.
What I want for the future. What I want for the future of RuneScape is just a major overhaul on these crafting skills.
Well, they're saying here that they want it to stimulate in-game economy and give incentives to train farming, hunter, and runecraft.
It definitely will. It will, to some degree, especially with the addition of what are they calling it? Dissolving? Are they calling it that?
Dissolving, yeah.
Okay, well, with the addition of that, the economy is going to change. Probably for the better a lot. Just being able to dissolve extra items in your bank to get to get a bunch, like they said with the adamant, you get bars for that. That's really good. It's gonna basically, instead of dropping a lot of things, you're gonna save it and dissolve it to make more money.
I like that idea a lot. I don't mind if it's not XP. It's whatever.
Yes, yeah, it's just useful in general.
They should have just made it they could just make that a magic skill. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Dissolving, and then it uses runes, and it's just a high alching. Okay, but they have a lot of the argument. But they have a table here, so it says wizard robe is level 1, and then at level 29 you can make Zerakin robes. So all those levels you would just dissolve that shit, I guess, huh? Back into the cloth and shit to make more resources.
Low level is going to look like levels 1 to 10 is going to be buying the ingredients to craft these blue robes, crafting the blue robes, dissolving the blue robes again to get some of your
It does feel
resources
kind of
back.
RS3 with like divination and shit.
That is, yes. A lot of people who have played RS3 are basically saying that is a huge takeover from divination RS3. Is that being able to dissolve it. And they said it helped the RS3 economy a lot, so it should do the same here.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It'll be
same.
quest.
I mean,
It'll be behind a
leveling it will
quest, I would assume. It says will reward you with quest luck, but they don't know.
They want it to be really easily accessible to people right out the gate.
I guess
So
since
if
it's
they put
going to
it
be
behind a quest,
free
it's gonna
too, it
be-
just has to be there, and they'll have to add a spot in like.
At the most, I think they'll put it behind like Rune Essence quest, where you just talk to the dude and he teleports you to the Rune Essence mines. Like that's a quest. So I think that's probably at the most what they'll do. Yeah, Rune Mysteries. Like they'll probably just pull a Rune Mysteries.
That's
where
what
you
I
talk to one
thought.
guy.
Yeah, they would do.
But yeah, I mean you're right. You could just add dissolving as a spell to one of the spell books, and then all of a sudden dissolving's in the game. So if warding, well, okay. Another thing we need to talk about is, do we think this is going to pass the poll at any time? Like in its current state, do we think if they polled it today, would it pass?
I don't know. We don't even know what we would need. Like what kind of vote? I would say no. I'm gonna guess no.
Yeah, I'm with you with that.
I think that.
I think that you need 75%.
I
Right,
think
to
that
poll
right now,
pass?
like, I don't know. We just need more details and need to discuss more. Need to be able to be like, okay, well, yeah, they need to do their Q&A. Where they are like, okay, yeah, we could look at that. That actually is a good idea. Like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Man,
I think it's too
been-
early.
how long
It's
has
too
it been?
risky to just if it was polled today to say yes. I feel like
yes.
I think I would say yes, but I don't think it would pass.
I think the poll would basically need to be like, are you at all interested in this? Should we go forward?
Yeah.
And then I would say yes. But if it said, do you want the skill in the game as it is? Like, I'd be like, hell no. I have no idea what this is going to do. And even so now, what do you want added to or clarified on the skill to make you say, yes, I want this in the game?
I would already say yes.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I would say yes if to look at it more. Like I like the concept. I think it could be worked really cool. I think. I don't know. Like I'm not upset that you make like these boring robes in the beginning. I feel like that's any skill. Like you don't. I never used the shrimp I caught when I was level fishing. I think it's just one of those things where you're just making more resources for the game. You either sell them, alch them, dissolve them, whatever. I just wanted to have a good use, like, and I think the dissolving sounds good, and I think, it just seems like right now it's one of those skills that you're just doing the mundane, this might be all skills, but you do the mundane stuff to get to the higher level stuff, then it's actually worth it, so you're kind of just like, yeah, I don't know, it depends if it's, like, active, I guess not, like, it's, it's too risky, to just put it in right now,
As it is.
Yeah. I definitely think so. There's too many questions. I guess I'm just like being like, what's going on? That's all I'm saying at this point.
I think just from the base, the concept art they made, right? Not the concept art, but just the triangle they made for what skills are involved in this skill to make it real. So like how mining is to ore, and then you get the ore to make the bars, and then you smith those bars into armor. And then for this skill, it's going to be farming to get the base materials, and then you do warding to make the robes. Like that, a lot of skills in this game have sister skills like that, that are like iconic
But Magic
to be paired
really
together. But
Rune
Magic does
crafting,
not,
I guess,
so
because you make the runes.
I guess.
But
you don't. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I don't know if you get that much Magic experience from doing any sort of rune crafting.
oh, you mean like getting dual experience while doing things?
Yes.
Oh,
So a lot
yeah.
of my mining stuff, you get small amounts of smithing XP just to remind you that they're related.
I mean, yeah, I was getting agility and strength, bro, from my fishing.
I know that's like an outlier though. I don't even consider that.
No, I think
I'm like, what?
I would like it. Like, I think it would be fun if it's like, I think I would enjoy skilling it more than like as the same as I was barbarian fishing for 200 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm more excited to level warding than I'm excited to level construction. I can tell you that much.
Because that's just gonna be
Like,
buying it and then being like,
construction itself, I'm not even interested in construction. I'm sure there's an argument that could be made to where like this could have been put into crafting. Why is construction in the game? You could just put that in crafting. So like the same argument's just happening over and over again, where crafting is such an overgeneralized skill that you could make so many things like rune crafting.
But
why can't we make that in crafting?
But I think it's like obvious that crafting is like jewelry, hides, you know, like, and then obviously fletching is making arrows, and you know, I think mining and smithing is, I don't know why those are two separate skills. That's different, but like,
yeah, they
work together to make melee armor, and then it's like, okay, well, you could make the ammunition for magic, but we can't make armor, and all the armor is boring.
Yes, that's, oh my god, yeah, that's another topic. The soul bark and blood bark, whatever they proposed for new magic sets. I mean, right off the bat, I'm like, that looks lazy, and it also looks ass.
Do you have the page for that?
Yeah, I've got hold on, I gotta pull it back up. It's like a freeze frame of the video they have.
Cause like I'm down for like mage tanks, dude. Like I think that's cool. Like hell yeah, but like, yeah, that split bark is already in the game though. It's like, who uses that?
No one, I think. I'm sure it's like a mid-tier.
You just use void, like for range, and don't they have a magic set too? Why did I say range? Why am I thinking range all of a sudden?
I'm saying a lot of wrong words too. Shit.
How long did you want to go? We're at an hour and 20.
Oh, then we can wrap up.
No, I mean it's up to you. I mean we could just keep going and then you cut whatever you want in there.
That's what I'll do. Yeah, so we can end at any time. Here, I need to hit share.
I'm just doing this fire giant task, bro. 93 more to go.
Oh my god. How many have you done in the time that we've done this? It should skip.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It should skip to it. If it doesn't, let me know. It should be at 424.
Nah, yeah, I see it.
They don't show the soul bark, probably because they don't have concept art for it yet, but like it's just a retextured of the same.
The hat is dumb as fuck.
And it looks dumb as fuck. I'm fine with things looking dumb, especially in a game like this where it's like, you know, looking at
but like the infernal cape looks
pixelated.
awesome, and like the god swords look cool, and like
exactly, like there are ways to make things look cool. So I'm not opposed to adding things that look funny on your character, especially for events. But I think when you're introducing a new skill, you need to hype it up a bit, and putting like really interesting and cool looking sets of armor with the skill would be like a good incentive for me. I'd be like, oh man, that looks so cool. I want to make that right now. Put it in the game. But no.
Yeah, it's like I like the wizard robes because they're classic wizard robes. You're like, definitely know you're a wizard.
Yes, yeah, I would always buy the black robes and like the hat. Oh yeah, they're adding the hoods. What do you think about that?
Hoods.
Yeah, you can make with this skill. You can make hoods for all the classic sets now. So
is it on that page? And I missed it. No, hats.
It's
monk's hood, earlier. Druid's hood, Zamorak hood, wizard hood. Hell yeah, dude!
And they look really cool. Yeah, I like them.
The only hood I have is my skill cape hood,
and that looks cool.
It does. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about like what I would want from an overhaul of the crafting and like, you know, smithing, crafting, and now warding system, but I'm not. We can do that some other time.
Make a note of it.
Yes, yeah, I do. I don't want to talk about it now because it would go on for ages.
Also, so I think maybe towards the end we can. A Halloween event should be coming up soon.
Oh, is there any news about it?
I don't think so, since all this Runefest stuff just happened. You know.
Is it? Do they do new Halloween events, or do they just bring back the old events?
No, they do new ones.
Nice.
Come on, dude.
I want to get spooky.
I want to get Spoop Town. We got the original Doot Doot.
I want to get some sort of like duding emote.
Yeah, on the cover of the original like guidebook and stuff, it was like a skeleton.
And the login screen ages ago was a skeleton and a guy like sitting at a desk.
So I mean, I guess we'll find out soon.
What I want most is an outfit that makes me look like a skeleton.
I think they already have that.
That's what I want most. Like one that looks good, or is it just kind of like
It's
a
like
cheap,
you're wearing a
know,
skeleton outfit.
I want to look like a skeleton is the problem. I
Oh.
want to look like you're super thin with the bones. I want to look like that.
Oh no.
I know. I'm probably expecting too much from this old ass game, but it would just make my day.
No, and there was an event that you could get like the Reaper robes, I'm pretty sure.
That's
I'm
pretty
going
good.
to my bank right now. Well, when you log in to do an event, like it sets you up so you can get all the previous rewards from Old School, like until the first update that went live, you know, for us.
I had to make a new account.
Yeah, so you don't have that.
Yeah, so I lost all my old event stuff.
Did you
I had an Easter
ask
Bunny
Durango
thing.
for it? Like, did you say
No? Is there a way I can get
Yeah,
it?
go to Draenor
Oh.
right this instant.
Okay, I'm in Draenor.
So Durango, he's like to the left of the bank.
Oh.
Like, I have hella holiday items.
I see Fortunato. Durango, here we go. Oh! Do I just buy them with gold?
No, they're free.
Wow. No, they do cost money. At least some of them do. The rainbow scarf, you can just buy them? You don't have to, like... So if you miss the event, you can just buy these things?
I don't know. Right click. I thought the next year you could just get the other one for free. Yeah, like...
I mean, they're all, like, really tiny prices. They're, like, 100
if you
coins,
right-click him, can you get, like, receive reward or whatever?
Yeah, let me see. I'm going to pick up some money real quick. Holiday items, redeem code.
Holiday items.
I'd like to check the holiday items. Well, it looks like you have everything already.
So that means, yeah.
Okay.
Damn, I have, like, 2 Santa hats, Christmas crackers, sack of presents. Like, I have all the cosmetic stuff from all the events. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, anti-Santa?
Dude! I fucking have the cabbage cape now.
Dude, nice.
I'm a legend.
Dude, hell yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
I have
I'm
the
actually
Clue
really
Hunter
happy about
outfit.
that.
I got it.
I'm so happy. And spinning plates and gray horse torsies? Torsies? What the fuck did I just say?
Torsies? I need more shark. I need to go fishing more shark soon.